You said it took some buddies of yours that you've been working with.
Hmm.
Um, so we kind of refer to them as kennel partners. What's the how did that relationship work? Because each man have his vision, or was it more so a purpose of what the dog did instead of what the dog looked like?
No, I mean for for me personally, what I consider, I don't think any of us would consider ourselves. We've never thrown that title around kennel partners. We've
Right,
all kind of done our own thing, but cross
right.
pollinated. Buddy can come over here and
We've
pick up a
never
dog and
thrown
say, I'm
that
going to breed
title
it.
around kennel partners.
Right, right.
Oh, I'm getting a backdrop sound. But no, very much I bred my dogs for functionality and looks. They are not quote unquote my bully dogs. They're not working dogs. You know what I mean?
Right,
But they are capable of doing work if you wanted them to.
right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, I bred my American bullies on kind a look standpoint, kind of like the American Staffordshire Terrier. I mean, that's what most of the people do. My dogs right now would probably be considered, if you had to classify them, a classic or a pocket style dog. They go 15 to 17 inches on my dogs, and anywhere from 40 to 65, maybe 70 pounds.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Hmm.
What you got, Ryan?
So, well, we just did that the Pampas dog, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the
Pedal
pedal pump
Pampas.
up.
So this is who actually put me on to that dog because I had never heard of this dog before,
Yeah,
and
you
then
told me that. Yeah.
yeah, and then ended up meeting Lissandro Lieback through Cayenne. So what I know this, but a lot of people don't know about that dog. I know people who obviously have been on this channel recently have, if they didn't before, they learned about this dog. Having the dog that you have and the dog that you just described that we just asked you about, what attracts you to a dog like that? Because I know if you could get one of those dogs, I know that you would. I know we talked about that. So what? Because
Mhm.
not to say that there aren't some similarities, but it's a bigger dog, all around. It's a newer breed. It's bigger. What attracts you to that dog in comparison to what you already or you're
Uh, uh,
dealing with on
oh,
a daily
uh,
basis?
oh, 100%. I'm a fan of the running mastiffs. I mean, that's what I classify. I'm a fan of Scott Performance American Bulldogs. I'm a fan of Manson Family Band Dogs. I'm a fan of, Presses and Corsos. I consider them all kind of a more athletic, agile mastiff. And the fact that someone in Argentina took dogos and then bred a dogo to, what was that dog's name? July, the Amstaff or something like that. They crossed an Amstaff to a Dogo, and then they just started line breeding. Um, I have a lot of respect for people who think out of the box and do stuff like that. I mean, kind of go kind of a visionary or someone who's willing to take a risk to do something like that. I've always considered myself a bull and terrier guy, and I am, but the dogo, y- gr- Rain, you've said it the best. The Iberian type Mediterranean mastiffs that came over to the New World with the Spanish and the Portuguese. I've always kind of been a fan. The Cimarron Uruguayo, not so much the Fila. I can never say it, but the more athletic, Iberian Peninsula descended dogs that came to the New World. I've always kind of been a fan of, and the striking thing to me, I mean, I'll just be honest, a black dogo or a black brindle dogo just always kind of seemed pretty cool to me. I've always been a fan of the dogo. It looked like a white pit bull was bred to a white Great Dane, kind
Mhm.
of, I mean, in
Yeah.
layman's terms. And that's kind of what I felt like the Pedal Pampa Argentino it just kind of looked like a giant, I mean, a black dogo, So it's a little different than what I have, but I can appreciate them.
So I got a question, and I know some people get mad when you talk about this or when you say this, and this is not you, just in general, especially dealing with the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, because that ultimately the two dogs the Staffordshire Bull Terrier and the Dogo Argentino are my top two favorite dogs, but Staffordshire
Hmm.
Bull Terrier is number one. Now we have guys on different channels who say different things and different histories, or a lot of it's ignorant, some of it's a little bit of fact and fiction mixed together. How, and I think you might have touched on this a little bit already, but in your opinion, in your professional opinion,
Here it comes.
Listen to you. Here it goes.
I mean, I don't know, it's an obvious question, but still, what
Yeah.
did the American Pit Bull Terrier come from the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, or did the Staffordshire Bull Terrier and the American Pit Bull Terrier? I'm just asking it directly. I know you said something about it earlier, but there are a lot of people still who will argue and fight and debate that the American Pit Bull Terrier is its own breed and it always has been, and it has no relation to anything really that was happening. I mean, I don't know, man. It's I don't know. It's a very ignorant conversation, but it's a question that I don't, I don't think it's like the Dogo Canario versus Pressa and the Amstaff versus Pit Bull. I don't think it's
Yeah.
ever gonna stop, no matter how much
No,
fact
no.
come out. But I just, someone who's dealt with American bullies, American Pit Bull Terriers, Staffordshire Bull Terriers, um, do you is do you know that? Do you not know that? Do you think that? I mean, I know that Staffordshire Bull Terriers came first. There's no way
A
anything
hu-
that has.
a- 100%. I mean, you're gonna have your diehards that want to segregate all of them when they're really three different versions of the same
The same
breed.
dog. Well, it's like,
You know, and Brian from Steadfast will attest to this. He and I have talked numerous, just like you and I, Rain. The dogs originated in the British Isles. Where they came from before that, I've heard rumors of Spanish Bulldog coming up to the British Isles at some point to help cultivate it. Who knows? But the dogs came with settlers to the Newport, Massachusetts area, namely where John Kobe was from. I've heard, they've came through the ports of Charleston and Savannah down in my neck of the woods. The New Orleans ports, you had a lot of Irish going down to the Louisiana area as well.
well, Kobe
Um,
was importing a lot of dogs too. He was like
yeah,
one of the biggest importers